You know, one of the things that constantly amuses me about so many at the national broadcaster and in the Green Left more broadly is their aversion to facts. They hate reality, hate a fact, and much prefer to wallow in the misconceptions of their own ideology and in the indulgence of their own emotionalism, whether it's border protection, Indigenous affairs, economics, or especially, as we mentioned earlier, climate change and energy policy. They tend to ignore the facts in favour of their ideology. They pretend the world is how they would like it to be rather than deal with it as it is. And none of them are so obvious with this zealotry than the host of MediaWatch on the ABC, Paul Barry. Barry practices anti-journalism, I call it. He attacks any media coverage that exposes facts or shares opinions that he doesn't like. It's rank stuff, it's silly stuff, and taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for it. As I've often said, it's the most expensive 15 minutes of television in the country and the most misleading. And last night's episode was a classic of the genre. Barry took aim at the LNP Senator Matt Canavan, a vocal advocate for the coal industry and an opponent of net zero by 2050.
The media like him, of course, because Canavan provides instant controversy, as he did in the election campaign with this damning rejection of the coalition's climate pledge.
Well, the net zero thing is all sort of dead anyway. I mean, Boris Johnson's said he's pausing the net zero commitment. Germany's building coal and gas infrastructure. Italy's reopening coal-fired power plants. It's all over. I mean, it's all over bar the shouting here.
The thing is that what Canavan said is 100% accurate. Very few people are prepared to say it because they get hammered by political considerations, or they're scared of being targeted as climate deniers, or worse, by people like Paul Barry and MediaWatch. But just maybe other media, like this show, we kind of like Canavan because he's prepared to share facts, inconvenient facts that are ignored by the ABC, for instance. And last night, Barry took aim at the way Canavan uses a TV screen in his office to promote his arguments in the background during his television interviews.
And Canavan's messaging has not let up this year, with warnings to avoid Europe's fate by keeping coal power open, calls for more energy to lower prices, and declaring net zero equals higher energy bills. It's not subtle and not official opposition policy.
Again, it's also spot on. Barry and the ABC hate the fact that Canavan promotes reality, a reality that the ABC and other Green Left media pretend away endlessly. How did we avoid Europe's fate last week? Well, we got more coal-fired generation online. So this is Paul Barry and MediaWatch criticising a politician and the media for allowing that politician to share facts that are problematic for Barry's climate alarmist agenda. But it gets worse. Well, better if you're up for a laugh, I suppose. Barry doesn't seem to understand that our energy mix constantly changes with demand, with supply, and quite literally with the weather.
But as Canavan TV told us, coal powers 60% of Australia. Or is it 70%? Or maybe 65%? Or could it be 56%? I guess it depends on the day. But of course, there's no fact-checking from any of the broadcasters.
Yes, it does change by the day. And in fact, you can check this stuff by the minute on your phone with a National Electricity Market app. I'm looking at it now. Coal 55.5% nationally at the moment. Gas 17.6%. Solar zip, of course, because it's dark. Wind 9%. Canavan was giving up-to-the-minute information that's easily fact-checked, not by Paul Barry, obviously, but the rest of us can and do keep an eye on these things, these crazy little things called facts. You're like me, you follow this stuff on your app all the time. It just demonstrates where our power is being sourced from at the moment. 57% coal, 23% gas. There's more than 80% right now coming from fossil fuels. Solar less than 1%, wind just over 1%. And hydro, most of that's in Tasmania. They've got it lucky down there, good on them. Yeah, that's fact-checking, even live on air. But the ABC and Paul Barry just don't want to get their heads around the real world. MediaWatch gives us another example of your tax dollars being misused for Green Left propaganda.